spirit? What is it? Where does it go? Are we able to see them using our mind's eye? If so, just what can spirit teach us? Welcome to School Through Spirit. Host DeEtte Renee is a certified psychic medium and master teacher of psychic and mediumship development through LWISSD. DeEtte was born knowing spirit and now is here to help you better understand the spirit world. And now your host, DeEtte Renee.
Good Monday morning, everybody. Welcome to School Through Spirit. I'm your host, DeEtte Renee. I'm not paying attention to you. I'm just starting to share this stuff. I'll tell you what, we're just starting to share. So, good morning. Welcome to School Through Spirit. I'm your host, DeEtte Renee. Just wanted to let you know a little bit about this show. It is a show that I explore different people's lives, their journeys, and how spirit has impacted them. Now, each week I do talk to different people of different modalities, or where, spiritual modalities, or even where, they have literally found spirit in their life, it has impacted it. Now, each week I do have a small discussion on spirit and then, or whatever spirit gave me. And then I go on to my, a guest. Oh my God, the energies. My guest this week is Michelle Prentiss, and thank God she's coming on today. Because I will tell you what, the energies of the solar eclipse and everything. I think it's just everything has knocked my socks for a whirlwind, and I don't know if I'm coming or going. And I'm wondering if you guys are all feeling the same thing. So, as you know, I am sharing all over the place because people have said, please share it. And I'm like, okay, I will share. But I'm going to ask you guys to do the same. Share this on your pages. If you feel as if we are making an impact, if you feel this is stuff that you want other people to see, or you're like, oh my gosh, I'm just so feeling this, then please share it, hit the like button, hit the love button, things of that nature. Because you know what? That's how we do this, right? That's how we do this. This is how we start a community and make it, a little bit larger than ourselves. So, that's what I am doing right now. I'm just sharing all over the world. And oh my God, I can't seem to get anywhere on this. Oh my God, I'm just so lost. You know what? So let's kind of talk about a little bit of that type of stuff today. That lost, since we're going to be talking about the energies of Michelle, she's going to make more sense of them. But I really do feel as if I need to talk about my aspect of them right now. Like right now, I can't even get anywhere in like where I need to be in Facebook here. Like, oh my gosh, this is just crazy. Oh my gosh, finally made it. So for myself, I don't know about you, and Michelle's going to have to tell you a lot more about what's going on with the universe and everything else like that. But I'm almost wondering how many of you guys are, oh my gosh, hey guys, if you can see me, please make some comments. Say hello, how are you doing? Or am I just freezing up? Oh my God, am I frozen? Might be, who knows? But if I am frozen, or if you can see me, say hi, how you doing? Let me know you're there, okay? Let me know you're there. So, because normally I've got somebody saying hi by now, and there's just nobody there. So, let's talk about these energies, or at least how I've been feeling within them. Because I don't know about you, but I have been going crazy. Good morning, Sir Tam. Thank you for letting me know somebody was there. These energies have been crazy lately. And I don't know about you, but for myself, I have been feeling all over the world. Can't seem to pull my head from my ass. Sorry, as you notice, I'm tripping over my own words. I can't get my own thoughts straight. I don't know if I'm coming or going. And it has just simply been simply crazy. And I will tell you what, it's not that these energies didn't start a while ago, because they did. I mean, all of April has been just a struggle for me, but literally coming into this world over the weekend, it seemed to get worse. It just seemed to get worse. And what I found was, I feel like my world has been turned upside down. It really does. It just feels like I've been flipped. So honestly, I'll tell you what, I ended up pulling some cards on this, because I was like, I don't know where this is sitting. I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know if I'm coming or going within it. So, I pulled some cards because honestly, I have been doing a lot of grounding. I have been doing whatever I can, all of my extra little things. I have been I'm supposed to be putting hashtag live now with DeEtte Renee. School. We're trying to get this on Instagram, guys, and I don't know how to do it. So I'm trying something new. Okay, and seeing if it works. Seeing if it works. See what happens. But anyway, I have been sitting there trying desperately, desperately, desperately trying to ground myself. I have been trying to work through this. I have been trying to do everything. And I will tell you what, nothing has been working. Nothing has been working on any level to try to bring myself down. I even tried kind of cocooning and not doing a whole lot. Okay. Um, and I felt like even the smallest tasks are like, come on, let's get them over, let's get through it. So this morning I decided to pull some cards on it. And I honestly feel like this is more like what I need to talk about is this aspect to a lot of the energies that have been going on. And again, I don't understand it. I just am feeling them. I don't understand them. I'm going to leave that whole thing to Michelle, because that Michelle, the energies of the universe, the Pluto and the moon and the sun and all the planets up there. That's really her world. It's not mine. I am the world of let's feel this shit. So let's talk more about that. And when I pulled cards and I just went, what is this about? What is going crazy in my own head? And honestly, I kind of looked at it, and went, what is going on? And honestly, I mean, look at normally I've got quite a few people listening by now and commenting, and even this morning everybody's like off a little bit. So the cards that I pulled came up being the Journey card and the Freedom card, and I had to giggle. I really, really, really had to giggle about this because I don't know if you remember back in January when I had Michelle on the last time, we were talking about my chart and how much my chart was about my journey and how April was going to be a significant month and, and then going over the next 2 years, basically. So, I kind of looked at it and said, okay, what is this about? So the cards being the journey and the freedom, when I'm looking at that for myself, I need to stop fighting these energies. I need to stop fighting, like trying to fight this focus. I need to stop trying to fight, like, oh my God, can I make this into something I want it to be? I need to stop trying to fight the old way of life. I don't know if that makes better sense to you guys. Because what happens is when we are shaking out my teeth thing, when we are going through this wonderful, wonderful phases, these wonderful energy shifts, things are happening, changes are happening, changes within ourselves are happening. You can call it energy shifts, you can call it downloads, you can, call it whatever you may want to call it, but a lot is happening. And like for myself right now, I am currently trying to fight this like tooth and nail. Like, oh my God, this is not going to happen. I am going to fight this. I am going to hold on to me. I'm going to hold on to what I know. And quite frankly, I can tell you, and I can really tell you as of today, because I have been fighting these energies for good morning, Miss Ellie. Oh my God, thank you for saying hi. Um, I have been fighting these energies. And with the fight of this, it has been my focus is off, my energy's all over the place. I can't pay attention. I'm just, I don't want to say loopy, but it is a sense of loopiness. All of this is going on, and it really has been a struggle because I'm fighting it. I'm fighting it. And this morning I woke up and went, wait a second, what am I fighting? What am I fighting? You know, because they say that, because we had the full moon also, along with, well, no, the new moon, not the full moon, the new moon. And they had stated not only with the solar eclipse, but the new moon was like having 100 new moons. Okay. So I don't know about you, but for myself on a new moon, I try to put some positive energy into it. I try to manifest. I try to say, okay, this is what I would like to happen. I put that energy into a new moon. And literally, I woke up this morning and went, what am I fighting? Yeah, I'm fighting what I wanted. I'm struggling with that. I'm kind of pushing against myself on all that. And I went, well, there's my problem. There is my problem within it all is that I am really prolonging these feelings because I want to fight the new me that's coming in. I want to fight that. I want to fight that energy. I'm trying to fight for something that is no longer resonating with me. And I truly believe that. I mean, I don't know what's going on within you, but I feel like that's what's going on with me is that I'm trying to fight this new thing. I'm becoming, and the longer I sit within this, I'm realizing this is just part of my journey. This is part of my journey. This is a step within me walking into myself and seeing where I'm going to be going to. So I really do believe that a lot of these energies that have happened this last weekend are a lot of things to do, a lot of shifting, a lot of transversing, a lot of growth within ourselves. And I do, at least for myself, feel like this is not just part of my journey. This is part of my freedom because of my manifesting, because of what I'm wanting, because of the alignment coming together. I'm saying this is what I would like for myself to feel better. This is what I'm saying I would like to have my journey be happier. My life, what I believe I want my life to look like right now or in the very near future. So it's giving me a sense of freedom also. Again, fighting that sense of freedom, fighting something I already felt I had freedom, but I'm looking for more freedom. I'm looking for more than I'm able to do within the limelight, the scale of my life. Okay. And for myself, that is a lot of what feels like it's going on. So I don't know how you guys have been feeling lately. I don't know if these energies this weekend have been kicking you in the butt. I know for the whole month, I will tell you what, April has felt like the everlasting day that never ends, never ends. I look back at April every other month. You know what? In my life, I stop and I think, oh my God, where did January go? Oh my God, where did February? Oh my God, where did 2021 go? Oh my God, where did this time go? And I look back on April and I go, oh my God, it was never going to end. And there was only 30 days. When is it going to end? And I'll tell you what, it ends up all being good stuff. But it has been really that dynamic. And now I'm finding myself sitting here. As May 1st has happened, as Beltane has happened, um, as these new energies are coming in, very powerful energies coming in. I sit with myself going, oh my gosh, is something going to happen this month? And it's not like, Tim, you can be crushed by the wave or you can serve. Exactly, Tim. That's exactly it. Um, and that's what's been happening. So now that I'm like came to the end of this April and I went, oh my God, this has been crazy. And I'm watching everything in my life kind of be put on hold. I went from crazy busy, oh my God, blah, blah, to bloop, nothing going, oh my God, what's going to happen? And now I'm going, oh my God, wait, did I stop it all? And I don't think I did. I think my body has just been reeling on so much energy that now it's just crushing to a halt, but it's really not on a halt. It's just riding a different wave. And it is, but it's giving me that sense of freedom. I know that when this comes all about, and I got that this morning when I did a small meditation that I got in this morning that I'm going to be going into, I don't want to say coasting, but going into a whole new time frame, a whole new sense of freedom, a whole new sense of being, and it's going to be, it's going to be amazing as it goes. But it really is a matter of allowing this to happen. It's just allowing this new sense of freedom to happen. Good morning, Miss Andrea. Sorry, late to the party this morning. It's okay, Andrea. Thank you for showing up. Everybody today, I want to let you guys know if you're in the show today, just do me a favor and say hi, say how you doing. Because as Michelle's in here, we're going to do a lot of asking. She's going to be talking about a lot of stuff. And, feel free to chime in. This is how you've been feeling, and this is what's been going on. Or, if she asks, hey, what's been going on with you? Feel free to jump in and say those things. Because I'll tell you what, today is damn job. Love it. Today is really going to be a lot of interacting. It's not doing a reading show today, but it's a lot of interacting, asking those questions, kind of stating how you've been feeling and seeing where that is coming from that. So make sure you come in and say hi this morning and kind of interact because that's what today is about, is that interaction. But like I said, I also feel like today everybody else is a little off because usually we got a whole lot of, oh my God, I'm here. And I think everybody else is off in their energy too. So I'm really hoping that today kind of helps everybody with all that and all the wonderful things that we're going to talk about today. So, with that being said, because as you know, my head's all over the place and I can't get focused and all that wonderful stuff. So, I'm going to take a quick station break. I'm not going to say I'm going to come back and be sharp as a whistle because it's probably not going to happen. But when I come back, I'm going to bring Michelle in. Okay. So, this is DeEtte Renee on School Through Spirit with WLTKDB.com. We'll see you back in a few.
DeEtte Renee, psychic medium. All of us have questions about our lives, our loved ones, our futures. DeEtte Renee is here to help answer those difficult questions. DeEtte excels at working with spirit and is a certified psychic medium through LWISSD. She is a master teacher and well-versed in the spirit world. Look, don't trust just any psychic with your deepest thoughts and worries. Trust DeEtte Renee, as she will deliver her very best for you. General readings, past loved ones, finances, your future. Contact DeEtte now on her website, DeEtteRenee.com. That's DeEtteRenee.com.
Good morning. Welcome back. You caught me leaving a message here. Sorry. Just telling people I'm talking about them on the show, which I'm not. That's okay. So, welcome back to School Through Spirit. DeEtte Renee here. Bring in Michelle Prentiss. Michelle,
Good morning.
my head is all over the place. I can't function this morning.
Yeah. It is a little bit on the slow side energetically, isn't it?
It really is. I was even like telling everybody like I felt lost. I felt like I was by myself because normally we start the show and I got like a million people saying, "Hey, we're here. How you doing?" Blah blah blah. And I'm like, I'm by myself in Never Never Land today. And people are coming in now, which is amazing. But my head is still spinning. My head is still all over the place.
Yeah,
So,
that eclipse energy was really strong. I'd love to know how your listeners felt over the weekend and just a few days leading up to the big eclipse.
yeah.
On Saturday, it was just really very low energy. That's typically what happens during a solar eclipse, physically.
Okay.
But this one was kind of a little more jarring because it was conjoined with the planet Uranus. So there was like a little jarring, kind of discordant energy to it too.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it was rough.
It was rough. I know I'm still being rough. You know what I mean? I know we talked yesterday, and I thought this morning I woke up and I had some clarity, of like, and I know you'd said this yesterday, but like, stop fighting. This really is for a reason. Like, getting a sense of freedom, getting a sense of like, I'm walking into a new step of a journey. And I don't know if that's what the planets were supposed to do to me, but this morning that's what I got. I pulled some cards. Sure enough, the two cards are literally, that's exactly what showed up in the cards.
Mm,
And I went, okay, just stop fighting, let it
right.
go. And I was so glad when you said you were going to come in early. I'm like, yes, because I can't focus. Like, I can't bring this together. So, and I've asked people to kind of come in to interact with us to say, hey, how was this? Was this for you? So I'm just kind of waiting for the comments to come in. But can you talk a little bit more about what people might expect from this? Because like people have talked about like the new moon was like 100 new moons. I mean, you've heard a lot on Facebook or what do you see? But
Mhm.
what is that exactly?
Right. Well, eclipses are not really just like super new moons or super full moons because there's a like a reset button,
Okay.
that is applied, I guess, to the new moon and the full moon. And typically, what happens here is that, the the moon, in a solar eclipse, the earth, the moon, and the sun are lined up so that the moon physically blocks the sun's electromagnetic energy on
Oh,
Earth, right?
okay.
So it is a real phenomena that you feel in the exoteric world, not just the esoteric world. It isn't just in spirit and in energy, it is a physical phenomena. This one was a partial eclipse, so it wasn't as strong. And so what happens is that there is like a kind of a darkening of the light, and it is both energetic, physically, and
Hmm.
also in the esoteric sense, you feel it within your own psyche, within your soul. It is, solar and lunar eclipses follow in a pattern. They're about um, 18 months apart, or in a cycle of 18 months and 6 months. So we have eclipses now in solar in Taurus, and then we'll have a lunar eclipse in 2 weeks at the full moon, which will be a Scorpio lunar eclipse in Taurus season, and then
I'm
six
so
months later
sorry. I'm sorry.
bit more intense. So if we say that the solar eclipse occurs on a new moon, which of course it does,
Hmm.
um, it is more of an energy of initiation, okay, and beginnings, right? With the solar energy, or the energy of the sun, being about external things, beginnings, seed planting kind of thing, with the lunar eclipse being the kind of like the pop, the encapsulation. The full moon is really the release of the energy. And so between the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse, we have what we call an eclipse window. We have a solar eclipse coming up that is actually kind of more revealing what comes up during the solar eclipse. So if you had a situation like you did, where you were pushing, your external agenda, right? Work, you're trying to do readings at like a big event, and suddenly you're in an eclipse, which is really like it really stops energy.
Hmm.
Animals, birds, all kinds of animals during solar eclipses are, their inner sort of like compass is turned off, because a lot of, animals, including ourselves, are connected biologically to the sun.
Hmm.
But it, like, energetically and esoterically, it represents kind of a reset,
Okay.
usually along the themes of the signs that the eclipses are in. So for you, you were working really hard, you were pushing, and then suddenly you're just like, oh, you felt that eclipse energy. And often, astrologers and, esoteric spiritualists, we say that we don't push during eclipses. Eclipses affect us, and we observe. It's a time to go inward, to cleanse, almost like you're getting an energetic reset. Like when you turn your computer on and off.
Right.
And I
Okay.
wonder if some of your listeners had that kind of experience, where you're just like,
That's what I'm looking for, because I think right now they're all absorbing what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like they're all going,
yeah.
you
So we
know,
have more to come.
we
Uh,
do. Which is, and I think it's strange how you're speaking about this, because like I know from my life in particular, um, and I think a lot of people know about this because I'm pretty boisterous about it. Like I'm going through a trance class, and they said that, 2 weeks before I actually show up for the actual 4 days, 5 day in person to do trance every single day, Spirit will start working with me. Spirit's going to have me start slowing down. Spirit's going to start changing my reading. Spirit's going to do all of this. And the funny thing is I do the trance class, and then I think the full moon's what, on the 16th of May.
yeah.
Trance finishes.
Oh, wow. That's
15th.
powerful.
Yeah, it literally finishes the 15th, and I drive home on the 16th.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So that is like you're doing this right in the eclipse window,
Yeah,
which is really profound because of course, I had to like look at your personal astrology because,
right.
no matter what, the astrology is the meaningful astronomy of everything
Mhm.
that is happening around us. So it is kind of, it's another structure for reading energy, right? A very
Right,
ancient structure for reading energy through the correlation of the planets in the solar system and the sun and the moon and life on Earth. And
right.
so that, it almost always, shows up for all of us. But then if this eclipse affects personal points in your natal astrology, that is the position of the planets at the time that you were born, it becomes even more profound. Okay. Everybody's going to experience an eclipse on Earth, but certain people will experience it more intensely, I guess, because their own astrology is interacting with it. Your astrology is interacting with these eclipses. So everything that is happening for you this year is really a little bit more profound. It's a little bit more important. And
Mhm.
eclipses usually work as triggers for something bigger.
Okay.
Some of the bigger pieces are, because I was looking at the eclipse was exactly that. That is the new moon
Mhm.
and the sun and the planet Uranus, which is like a Promethean impulse. And if you know the god Prometheus, he was the one
Mhm.
that brought fire to mankind. And the idea is esoterically that it is like illumination, right?
Okay.
So that all happened right on your natal Saturn and
Right.
opposing your moon, because you have a moon Saturn opposition in your astrology. What does that mean? Is it's like there's some revelations and situations that are breaking down some of the structures that you've worked with in the past,
Right.
and maybe that ties in to the trance work that you're doing, and that might be more of what you're going to do in the future, you know.
And I was just talking about this before you came on. We didn't talk about this yesterday, but I said I feel like for myself, it has been like breaking down the old me and going into the new me for some reason. That's what I feel like I got this morning was like you're fighting letting go of your old. Good morning, Pamela, Deidre, and Dorothy. Guys,
Good
let us know how
morning.
you're feeling about, how the energies affected you. I know all the um all the lingo, I will call it lingo. Michelle's not it's more of the,
Sorry.
no, I love it. I love the education. But how is it making you feel? Have you been affected by this? How is it, what? Pipe in. Tell us how this has been going. Um, good morning, Miss Denise, but let us know how the energy's been feeling for you. And Michelle is more than happy to try to explain it away. I mean, not away, but
Right. Um,
so
okay, I need to like click on comments to see. Okay, here
yeah,
we go.
I'm looking. Everybody's saying good morning right now. Everybody's like me right now. They're just slow coming in. You know what I mean? Because normally it's like, hey, how you doing? Blah blah blah. And everybody's. I think the energy is affecting everybody. And I will tell you right now, this is so funny because every time you come on, I seem to be in a sweatshirt because I'm in Wisconsin, and you're in a tank top because you're not. And
90 degrees here today.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I need to. I start sweating looking at you like, oh my god, maybe I wear too many clothes.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, I live in the desert,
Yeah,
and, it is hot here a lot of the time, and,
yeah. I love that. I
yeah,
love that.
yeah.
So, as we're waiting for people to kind of go, oh my God, I think everybody's crawling out of bed this morning going, oh my God, I don't even know what's going on in my head. Denise is saying the energy for me had been brutal. Brutal. I love that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would agree that, of course, like I was prepared and I was, not, I wasn't going to work. So that's one of the things that we often will say to people during eclipses is that the energy is so strong that oftentimes you don't have the energy to work. If you think about the sun literally being sort of blocked, and the sun being our source of energy,
Mhm.
and esoterically too the source of your ego identity and who you are, and the fire that burns within you, when that gets blocked you
Mhm.
don't feel super energetic, and just the neat thing about learning about astrology is it gives you a context for doing your own personal work in the most efficient and effective way, not just knowing yourself but also kind of knowing a little bit about what you could call like, astrology literally in Greek means astrologos, the world, the word of the heavens. Okay.
Wow.
And it's, you could say the word of God, of course, that this was coined pre-Christianity, probably at the very beginning of Judaism, when some of the monotheistic religions were coming up. But the idea here is that like if you watch astrology and you utilize it in your own life, you'll be more effective. And especially if you utilize your own astrology, you'll be kind of almost living your soul's desire for you or God's desire for you. And that's how I see it, at least.
I love that. I love that. I think this is funny because Pam is writing the show didn't pop up on Facebook for her. She had to actually search the show. And I think that's strange because I think that's happened with a lot of people today. You know what I mean? Because I still shared it everywhere I normally do. People would normally get their, their notifications, and here it is. It's like it's not popping up. They're going, "Oh, wait a second. I'm supposed to be watching her today. Where's she at?" You know what I mean? So I
Well,
think
these things happen as they're meant to, but all of you guys like that are commenting right now, if you have any questions about the astrology or you want to talk about how the solar eclipse might affect you or something like that, feel free, to put some questions in the chat. Let me know.
Todd is saying just exhausting to say the least.
Exactly.
You
But
know.
the thing here is not to worry, like, I don't have, I'm not sick, you're not sick. You didn't do anything wrong. Those kinds of things are very helpful for folks, at least for myself, to realize, wow, I didn't do something wrong because I have absolutely no energy over the weekend. And why is this happening? Like for you, you said it was really rough to be in the middle of doing readings and just be like, my channel is closed.
Yeah. And
Why?
that's exactly what happened. I mean, I woke up that morning going, actually, it was earlier the week. I was like, I shouldn't be doing this event. I shouldn't be doing, what? I should not, but I'm stubborn. So I'm like, I paid for this event 2 years before COVID. It got canceled. I'm going to show up because blah, blah, blah. It was just in my head, that workaholic of me said, you're going to show up no matter how you're feeling. And I showed up the whole time. I woke up, I was ornery, I was like frustrated. I'm like, why do I have to be just not my personality, And I'm walking in, I'm going, oh my God, you need to change your mood, you need to change your attitude, you need to ground. I walked into the room, I'm like, oh my, and it just no matter what I did, I couldn't come off that feeling. And I kept going, what is going on with me? I went on to do, I think it was like 11 readings, for the first part of the day.
Ooh.
Which sounds, I know everybody's like, oh my God, 15 minutes or half an hour, that's not much. I mean, it is a lot, but in the world of let's do a fair, it is what it is. And everything was like boom, 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 boom. People are crying, people are laughing. Oh my God, thank you for helping me, blah, blah, blah. I will call you, I'll do a house party, whatever. And then I hit in my head, I knew by 2 o'clock, I didn't know why at 2 o'clock I had to be done. And I'm thinking to myself, why do I have to be done at 2? Like the event doesn't end at 5 until 5. I'm not going to not read for 3 hours. I mean, no, but my head was like at 2 o'clock. And it was funny because at 2 o'clock, nothing. And I went, okay, maybe I just psychically knew it. And at that 2:30, quarter to 3, somebody's walking across the room, coming to get a reading. I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. I can't connect. I don't know what's going on. I can't do this, blah, blah, blah. They sat down. I went, shit. You know what I mean? It's what it felt. And then sure enough, it was just my energy was all over her energy. And she admitted it too. She's like, this isn't you, this is me. And I kept going, this is me, not you. Back and forth. It was really quite hysterical going back and forth with this. But yeah, the reading was not going to happen. I was shut down. It was boom. And I was like, I felt like somebody that just had sex and couldn't perform is really how I felt, that embarrassment. Like, I can't do this today, So, yeah.
Talking about the sun and the moon, a lot of what say psychics do, okay, is very what we call lunar in astrology, meaning that it is interior, it's intuitive, you're reading energy that you can't see a physical manifestation of, kind of
Mhm.
thing. And going out to work, and a lot of people were mentioning like going out to work and just or having a lot of physical energy to do things, that is what we call solar. So external, internal,
Okay.
without, within, kind of thing. So when the sun is blocked, you can't do that outside work. That's why it's good for inside work.
Okay.
And that's why it's good to like have consult a trusted astrologer if you are doing like a big thing like a fair. And of course, just like with like say Mercury retrograde or what have you, sometimes you can't cancel.
Right.
It's great when you can take a day off work or you can just take it slow and have that day for yourself. Especially around solar eclipses, but sometimes you can't. And just knowing it and not
Mhm.
beating yourself up about it, like what you did, and you're like,
Mhm.
"I'm gonna trust my intuition here. Even though I tried, I'm gonna step back." That's a
Right.
good thing.
Mhm.
Good thing to trust your body. It's a good thing to trust your intuition because like 99% of the time, if it's not fear-based, it's correct.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Deidre wrote, she had forced time down due to physical manifestation, aches and pains. Anything that she tried late in the week into yesterday was muddled to the point of project stalled, incompletion, sleep cycle totally disturbed. She actually called off work Friday night at midnight for Saturday.
Yeah,
So I mean, and I'm
smart.
seeing a lot of people commenting just emotionally, Dorothy's writing emotionally just, heavy. Sleep is not there. Pam is like, she's normally a morning person, but, is not wanting to get out of bed and just,
Same.
yeah.
I've been using, you guys, there's something called Calm, which is
Mhm,
a magnesium drink. I can't
mhm.
remember the name of the company that makes it, because my sleep is often interrupted by solar and lunar cycles.
Mhm.
And I've been taking that all last week too, sleep aid,
Yeah,
and different types of teas. There's like different teas from valerian teas and teas for relaxation. I've had to take them every night too, you guys. So you're not alone. Like these are the things that happen that when you make that connection and you realize it's not me, it's nothing that I personally did. I didn't make a mistake. I don't have a disorder.
right.
But that you're actually in kind of in flow. Like a lot of you guys are in connection with what is happening from an astronomical standpoint, and again, astrology is just the interpretation of that from
Right.
a, you call it more esoteric, or inner standpoint.
I like that, I like that. Denise is like, "I've been angry at the world." Like, Denise, I feel you. I mean, I've been in my head telling a lot of people to piss off. In my head, no.
That's that Uranian impulse too, to like break free. Like anger can be very constructive when used constructively.
Mhm.
I mean, it is just an energy. And it's like so much of that is also kind of, I think we don't know exactly how to express our anger culturally very well.
Mhm.
But yeah, sometimes you're fed up of being fed up. You're fed up of saying yes to everybody. You're fed up of not listening to your own, cycles. And that's fine. Use that energy to do some things like constructive for yourself, like say no, even if it's saying no to things. Oh, and I'm so sorry
About
um,
Quincy, yeah, with
about
Dorothy,
your
yeah.
loss. I
Oh,
actually have a few friends that have recently lost. Sometimes it does happen too during like eclipse time periods
mm,
and also full moons, new moons, sometimes too. They become portals and people leave the earth on those portals. It's very, very common.
mhm,
I lost my own mother just days after a lunar eclipse that was conjoined with my own natal moon. Now, of course, you can't, predicting something like that is very difficult, but it is, if you think about it, it's really hard for you to deal with loss. But if your, beloveds, whatever they may
mhm,
be, fur, or skin or whatever, if they're jumping onto this portal, it's, I think that it's kind of a good portal for them. It's time.
mm,
Um, and again, it's like very common. Sometimes people's babies are born often in those times too. So just know that it is part of the cycle of life, and
yeah, sometimes it's just really hard. But I like how you're helping her to understand, why things are happening, which is amazing, and I like that. That's one reason I've grown to like astrology, which is not something, other than reading my horoscope, you know what I mean? I had anything to do with it because I'm like, no, it doesn't, I don't understand it.
it's like it's a structure for describing energy.
Yeah.
Like you work with energy within your own structure.
Yes.
Within what you how you've learned to work with your innate intuitive faculties. Your psychic mediumship.
Right.
And, astrology is like describing energy kind of, it's kind of similar, but it is a structure for describing energy that
Mhm.
is at play in our world, both internally and externally, and the idea is it ties in with that, as within, so without connection between, all things. And it connects us. Like
Mhm.
it is in, I don't want to say it's the word of God because it's not, there's no law, other
Right.
than just like these things are moving, that is a law, that is a physical law.
Right.
But it describes energy because there is this point of free will. And how are we interacting with this energy? And, so many times that, we're cast upon this life with no breadcrumbs. We're like, who are we? We're conscious. This is a mystery. Why are we here? And
Exactly.
astrology can talk a lot about your like personal destiny and what makes you up, but then you embody that, in the same way that your immortal soul, say, embodies your physical body and contains more than that. You can see that in astrology, like what's your plan for this life, like generally, and then you're interacting with that. So there's
Mhm.
a little bit of fate and free will, a little bit of structure, and that's it's super helpful, because remember we were talking earlier about um intuition and sensing things that you can't physically see, that you don't feel or matter,
Mhm.
physical matter in front of you. And I was saying that when I was a kid, I was really scared of that.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I mean, I think that's why I was so attracted to astrology, is because it like gives me this really like nice container for that.
And I like that because, not everybody is in my world. You know what I mean? I'm just like, hey, free for all. Let's, and to me, it's still very structured because of the education and the practice. So for me, energy is very structured. But it's not for everybody in this world. You know what I mean? And I think it's funny because I think people that are in astrology might they look at that where you'll look at me and go, yep, she's just free flying. You know what I mean? I'm just winging it over here, type of thing. So I like that. Dorothy said so many messages coming, that yes, the connections are abundant right now and so many messages are coming, which I like that. But Andrea says she feels like she's getting pulled in 20 different directions.
Yeah.
Is that based on their regular charts also, or is it just the
Well, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure. Andrea, what is your birthday? Or do you know your sun sign at least?
yeah.
And there is this kind of, so there's been this like whole long energy with all these planets in Pisces,
Mhm.
on April was a really wild month because we had all this Pisces energy. We had the Neptune and Jupiter conjunction in Pisces. And Pisces is very uh esoteric. But Pisces is, it's a water sign, it's a mutable water sign, it flows. There is not a lot of container around Pisces. So
Right.
everybody was kind of like, whoa, what's going on? What's happening? And there is this change a little bit. In fact, later today, the planet Venus, which recently at the eclipse actually conjoined Jupiter, which is very good. But Venus is moving into Aries. We have Mercury and Gemini today. So things are changing. So Andrea said her birthday is February 11th, and so she's an Aquarius,
Okay.
and right now, actually, transiting Saturn is kind of on top of your sun, and kind of what that means more is it's like you feel you're being pulled in 20 directions because you feel this kind of weight on you,
Mhm.
Saturn is like a weight. It actually constricts you. So because you are being your natural like flow of being able to handle all this stuff is kind of being constricted by this energy. And that's the reason why you feel you're being pulled in 20 directions, because you just don't physically have the energy to do maybe all the things that you would like to do or have done in the past. So you are kind of like, whew, and that is hard on you. But again, like what DeEtte was saying about uh knowing that this is what she's supposed to be doing,
Mhm.
you are supposed to be consolidating. So if you are being pulled in 20 different directions, don't, cut some of those things off, okay? And just focus on one thing at a time. And especially during this year, become more grounded, become simpler, focus on the signs, symbols, and synchronicities that are coming to you, and just slow down, because you will be fighting against something that you can't really control, if you don't. Do you know what I mean? So if you're pulled in 20 directions, it's like, just say, no, 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 no. We're going to just focus on this one thing at a time.
Which I think is really funny because, and does the time of her birth, the date of her birth also make, because I'm Aquarius, but I'm at the very beginning. She's towards what, towards the end actually, isn't she? Or getting
Yeah,
close
she's
to
like a
the
week
end?
before the end. So Saturn is closer to her sun than it is to yours.
Right.
Um,
'Cause I
and
know,
but
like, for me, this is time for me to go out and do more and do more and do more, where
yeah,
her being born at that time is like, do less, do less, do less. So,
yeah, right. Like you're 0 degrees Aquarius.
yeah.
So that energy was, interestingly enough, on the winter solstice of 2020, we had Jupiter and Saturn conjoined and at 0 degrees Aquarius,
Mhm,
which is very much like what astrologers were saying is like the age of Aquarius, this idea of that there is this opening, for some of the values and ideals of Aquarius, which is
mhm,
very much about, community and inclusivity and sharing that sort of idea of like, fraternity, egalite,
mhm.
the American and French Revolution ideals, we need to come together as a community to create something that is great for everyone. But anyway,
Right.
that energy was from a few years ago for you.
Mhm,
So it's now moved on and it's closer to her sun. And your sun, again, represents your physical vitality in many ways. And so when you have like Saturn by transit, and remember, everything's always turning and moving, like the
mhm.
earth is moving and all the planets are moving. So these energies are never going to like stay forever.
Right.
But understanding where they're at right now is helpful. Okay. So,
I think it's really interesting. The only reason I brought it up is because so many people, as close as they get to astrology, is like reading their daily horoscope. You know what I mean? And it's just regular Aquarius. It's just regular this. And I always think, because me and my daughter are both Aquarians. I'm at the very beginning. She's on the seventh. You know what I mean? So it's like, but that so many times our horoscopes is more about her than me. And I'm like, why is that? Why we're both Aquariuses. But when you really break it down, it really does come into that day of birth too, that you know what I mean? It just really takes it all into account. So
so when astrologers write columns and write daily
mhm,
horoscopes and things like that, which I have done many, many times over the years, I'm not doing them like that
right.
much right now, but I was writing weekly horoscopes for a while. What we do is we look at the position of the planets
Mhm,
geometrically to the sun,
mhm,
but realistically also we'll create like a transit horoscope for Aquarius, like if you were born at sunrise. Okay. So the idea here is that if you know your ascendant or your rising sign, you
mhm.
should read that as well.
Oh,
And, that will give you an even deeper insight as to what's happening. And not everyone that writes a sun sign column is like created equal. Some just have fun with it and just write some major themes in regards to maybe, the archetypal energy of the zodiac sign or just some
mhm.
real basic stuff. And others are way more detailed. It just really depends.
Oh, I love
But
that.
read your rising sign, okay? Because most astrologers are basically what we're doing is we're looking at that circle, that chart wheel, right? And we're
Mhm,
saying, okay, well, here's Aquarius and here is Leo. They're in opposition. So if we're having, say, like a solar eclipse in Leo, we'll say, your relationships are, because if we look at a chart wheel, the first house is you, the seventh house is your partner. Um, that's how we write it, so we're
oh,
looking at the chart wheel as if you're a Aquarius with Aquarius rising,
right.
because there's a relationship between all the signs in the
Mm,
same way that there's a relationship between the transiting planets and the houses. So
I love that.
it's geometric, it's complicated, but it's all about relationships. And anyway, read your rising sign, you'll
And
get
I
it.
love it. Andrew's like, "I need to concentrate on Pisces horoscope then. What is my rising?" She goes, "I just need a class on this stuff." So you guys know, Michelle teaches.
I do
Michelle
teach,
teaches.
you teach, and
Michelle,
I
you teach astrology.
class this summer. Like I teach an astrology 101 class, but I'm going
Mhm.
to teach a class this summer too for people that are readers, healers,
Ooh,
psychics, and practitioners, if you
right.
will. So just to kind of how do you incorporate that into the work that you're doing? So if you are Andrea, if you were an Aquarius with a Pisces ascendant, so that means that you were born, say, between like 10 a.m. and noon or something like that. Um, you need to read both if you
Mhm.
want an
Accurate.
accurate, you know, sun sign
I love that. Everybody, you know what? When Michelle puts her classes out there, if she's not on the show within a whatever of it, I'll make sure we get shared onto my Facebook site, my business one, so you guys can also get hooked into those. You know,
Yeah, you
you
can
know,
book.
or I will just do what I do for Deb, and we'll just do a suggestion for astrologers and put Michelle right in there, and that way you guys can just click on her straight away. You know, and my Todd, my producer, who's also my website guy, going, okay, now we're going to do another one. So,
Yeah, I would love to offer you guys a class.
yeah,
It isn't really that. It's funny I say like it's not that complicated because it's super complicated, but
it's super complicated.
also
Yes.
be really, really simple. Okay. And I also want to mention that two Virgos were bringing their birthdays up too. And for all those Virgos, because we had, all those planets in Pisces, which is Virgo's opposition, they were getting beams from Neptune and Jupiter and Venus and Mars. And so because all the zodiac signs also work in an axis, okay, like a holistic. You think about it, yin yang,
Mhm.
Aries and Libra, opposition, okay, but they work together. Taurus and Scorpio, but Venus, a Virgo and Pisces. And it's like if you want to combat too much Virgo, you do that with Pisces. But anyway, if a planet is in a sign of your opposition, you're gonna feel it. So those Virgos were getting like probably like hopefully a lot of dose of some of that like magical, amazing energy that has been coming up, especially around partnering and partnerships. And um, but yeah, figuring out what your astrology is, you can do it for free online, astro.com. There's a ton of others. You
Wow.
have to figure out what your rising sign is, you have to go and you have to get a computer chart unless, you know astrology, But
Right.
if you're born at sunrise on the whatever day of the sun sign that you are, so if you were born like on July 17th, and you were born at sunrise, you were born at 9:11 p.m. So we're talking about probably your you may even have an Aquarius ascendant, but you'll need to just check, just go online, get a free natal chart, and it can give you all that information.
I love that. I love that because that helps people. Because you know what? I love the fact that you give people different ways, places to go look, places to find this information, and then make it so easy. You know what I mean? Easy
Yeah.
and understandable. Now, you know what? We talked a little bit, and I'm bridging two subjects. I'm bridging two subjects here, big time. Um, now, with your astrology in this lifetime, could past lifetimes affect the astrology or the time you might have chosen? Does that make you know what I mean? Does astrology and past life all come together in some aspect? I
I
know
think
this. I feel like I'm like everybody's going, "Where the hell are you going?" But a lot lately, I have been resonating a lot lately with past lives, and people have been coming to me about past life readings, and that all in this energy, all ever since the solar flares went up until until literally Saturday. Everybody's wanting past life readings. Everybody's more interested in past life. Everybody's going there instead of the present. Could that be being affected by all this?
yeah, I mean, so and I also think that it's the magic of mirroring, which happens a lot when you're a reader. Like whatever you're doing, suddenly like you're attracting that
You're right.
because there again, it's about connections, right? All you guys listening too, you will attract a lot of the same energy that you give off or that you're involved with. And whatever you're thinking about or doing has a magnetic resonance, and that there's an attractive element there. But yes, interesting thing about his astrology is that you can do a lot of different types of astrology. There are people that just focus on like what we call mundane astrology, the astrology of the world right now, financial astrology, archetypal astrology, where they're dealing with like big picture transits and world events and energetic imprints. But I guess that I would call what I practice evolutionary or karmic astrology. There's a couple teachers that have coined the term evolutionary astrology, but within that idea is the soul's evolution. And so
Mhm.
through that, the transmigration of souls, the idea that we are an immortal soul, we're having multiple lives, is definitely present in astrology. And there
Okay.
are all kinds of charts and readings you can do. I mean, I can do an astrology reading specifically focused on a past life. You don't get a lot of exact details like you would if you're getting a psychic reading or you're doing like a meditation where you close your eyes and you're like, I'm barefoot, I'm in rags, but you can
Right.
get a lot of really interesting insight into what general energies you've been working with. And I
Oh,
see it a lot. So
okay.
there's a chart reading called Draconic where we look at the nodes of the moon, which is the eclipse cycles, because no matter what in astrology, we're always looking at the planets, but we're also looking at the eclipse cycles. And we, on your birthday, where they were, was there an eclipse? Where,
Mhm.
how far away from the eclipse was it? We call it the nodes of the moon. And it's thousands and thousands, probably at least, well, it's from the Babylonian time period. So it's quite old,
Right.
3,000 years, something like that. Um, the nodes of the moon are where the eclipse cycle is, and it represents kind of karma and dharma, right? And if you idea karma, right, which is the
Mhm.
sum total of your experiences, it comes from past lives. So for sure, yes, you can read into past lives. You can for sure do a past life reading. It is, it isn't super duper specific, but
Mhm.
you can get a lot from outer planets, from your nodes of the moon. And that comes out because I think that we're born with like a chess game in play. Okay. So when you were born, all of you guys, your astrology represents in many ways like what your soul's intention for this life and the sum total of where you've come from, your
Mhm.
past lives. That's what you see in your chart.
Right.
So if you've got anxieties, you've got like health issues, you've got hauntings, of like
Mhm.
just whatever it is, like it's there. And you can dig into it with a good astrologer that knows what they're doing.
I love that because I'm glad you were able to understand my question because you know where my brain's at right now, and there's like no, it's like brain fog. Even to formulate a question, it's like, okay, figure out what I'm asking. But I do like that because I recently have been going ways because I've been into the past lives, this and that. But like, wait, why would we? Because in my world, it's like we choose when we're going to be born. And we choose our parents, we choose, what we want to do. There's so much that we have involvement in what's going to go on in this world for ourselves. And I'm like, oh, wait a second. Did I specifically pick the exact date, time, everything? And was that for a reason? You know what I mean? Does it have to do with my past life experiences, everything I've experienced? And you know what I mean? Does that formulate into starting this lifetime?
Yes.
Oh,
According to my philosophy and most of the people that practice astrology, yes.
yeah.
I was just talking with my cousin who, unfortunately, she's pregnant and her water broke early and
Oh,
she's in the
no.
hospital and, kind of beating herself up a little bit like, oh, what did I do? It's all me. And I'm like, babe, your baby's going to choose when it's going to be born. We call it astrology choosing your chart,
Right.
Yes, same. I think that we have chosen our life. And, for some of you guys, you might be like, what? Why would I do this? I think to myself, why would I wouldn't choose some of these, I wouldn't choose, give this to my worst enemy. Why have I chosen some of the difficulties in my own life? But
Right.
it is, according to most people that have a high level spiritual practice for our own evolutionary growth and for experience.
Right.
Life on earth and this life is to be experienced and to
Mhm.
make choices. It is a creative endeavor. What if we are all cells in the body of God, which I think is probable, some form of that is probable. And we are, consciousness is here to experience itself. Like we're here to experience itself, but also to like make choices. And we have creative free will, but we also have to deal with our karma, our past
Right.
lives.
Exact and I love that because as you're talking, my head is just spinning, and I'm thinking, "God, that is so funny," because, like, my mother went into labor. She was technically in labor for 3 days from the first attract I know, I was just her body was like, "Get it out of me," and mine was like, "Nope, not coming."
Yeah.
It wasn't until finally the doctors did an X-ray at her and said, "Oh my god, you've got a past fracture in your pelvis. It just won't she's not coming out." So I ended up going by cesarean versus natural birth because literally I could not come through the birth canal. So it's like, so it's like for me, it's like, wow, even though she was getting ready, her body was like, this is time. My body was like, nope, not ready, not ready, not ready, you know?
You can sometimes see that. Of course, you're telling me this, and I'm like, oh, I'm looking at her chart right now.
It's like,
Because you can see sometimes like a surgical birth or issues with birth when you have planets aspecting your ascendant, right? Your ascendant is the degree that the sun, or it's also called rising, the degree the sun is rising or not at the moment that you were born. And, you know, planetary aspects to that can indicate a difficult birth, etc. And interestingly, of course, you're 0 degrees Aquarius. If you would have been born 2 days before, you would not have been in Aquarius, you
right.
know? And you also have the planet Uranus, which we've been talking about today, which is like that, you know, it's the modern ruler of Aquarius squaring that is in a 90-degree relationship to your ascendant. So Aquarius and Uranus in astrology represents technology and a modern birth or even a surgical birth. My oldest son also with a Aquarius ascendant and a moon in Aquarius was born 2 weeks early surgically too.
Oh, wow.
He was not, you know, he was supposed to be a Scorpio, you know. Anyway, also like there's that imprint, you know, of this sort of like um of this thing. So yeah,
Right.
I mean, I kind of feel like this is what you wanted to be, you know. And Aquarius is like the iconoclast, you know. They're different, they
Oh,
stand out, you know. They fit out instead of fit in, you
yeah.
know. So in your family, it's like you're like, okay, you know, I'm gonna be the different one, you
And
know.
I am. I am. And the funny thing is, I never felt accepted in my family until I came out, and now I feel accepted, which is really strange. It wasn't until I went, I'm different. I know I'm different. I'm going to express that differentness. Then everybody went, okay, she's finally being her. You know what I mean? But I also think it's funny because with me being born at the tail end of that moon there, that feeling of I know everything. It's like if I was gave birth at the time, my mom gave birth at the time her body said to give birth, I would have come in at a totally, just totally different everything vibration, you know?
Yeah, I mean, babies are born when they're meant to, you know.
Yeah.
And the thing is too is like I just want to mention that a few of the comments, right? So
Yeah.
I think Pamela was like saying, you know, moon in Taurus, yes, you know, that solar eclipse, and there's going to be some, you know, potential changes both to how you relate to getting your needs met, perhaps relationships with women and your mother over the course of the next year. Um, and I want to mention also, Andrea, like, look, sometimes we all feel like this isn't the life we ordered, you
Mhm.
know, like, because what do we want? We all just want everything to be easy, right? But, you
Easy
know,
doesn't make growth.
there seems to be some intelligent order to the universe, you
Mhm.
know, and I remember I've had terrible and traumatic things happen in my life that I certainly did not order consciously, but they have informed me and provided me with a certain amount of wisdom and understanding that I am using in my life. And I'm actually ultimately grateful for that, because I think that when we feel less beleaguered, you know, by all of the stuff that happens in our life, and kind of just bring that in more into our own inner self and say like, okay, well, what am I learning? Sometimes it is just endurance, patience. And I would say if you've got Saturn on your sun right now, you feel beleaguered, just deep breaths, learning that, as my mother used to say, virtue is its own reward, you know.
I like that. I think I'd have loved your mom. I'm telling you. I think I
Ah,
would
she
have
was the
loved it.
best. I mean, she was a very private woman, and that's why I really want to bring her out and share her with all of you, because she was so wise and so amazing and so tolerant, and also had a hard life. You know, her husband left her with 3 small children, you know, when she was like 30, and she had to raise these 3 kids totally on her own.
Mhm.
She fit out. She was a black sheep in her family, you know, a weirdo, you
Right.
know.
I think in this day and age, we're all getting to be the weirdo. She's just, she was the time to bring it through, so the rest of us were comfortable with it. Like, it's okay
Yeah,
to
well,
dance.
you know, I mean, it's fortunate for us, the people that do this work, that like it's very popular right now,
Mhm.
you know, and it's really exciting because like I do a lot of readings for people that feel that will go back to past lives. I think we talked about this yesterday, like that know that have direct experience within their imaginative realm or their psyche that
Mhm.
they were a reader, a healer,
Yeah.
whatever, and were persecuted for that,
Yeah.
especially women. I think that we've incarnated now because we can do this work. It is not harmful to people. It is helpful to humans. It is, but what it is it's like, I think it's very likely that the patriarchy is in a long-term, crumbling or, and, women's work, the intuitive work, the imaginative realm, it's rising up. And many, many people are giving it, I guess, the respect that it deserves.
Which I love. I do love that. Now I have another question then, because we did talk about this, and I'm using me as an example because I'm the only example I've got. But within my chart, because we talked about past lives, I always I put myself alone. I don't want to have a spouse. I want to be single. I want to pay attention to my growth, you know? Is that also seen in my chart also? Or
I mean, I think that I will say that you have, your sun in Aquarius, which is
uh,
definitively like Aquarius is very much like a bit of a loner sign,
mhm,
it is about community, but not necessarily about that sort of one-on-one.
right.
You do have a Cancer ascendant, so it is like you want to share your love with like nourishing and nurturing other people is very important to you. And you have a moon, which is like your moon in astrology is like your reigning need. You've got this moon in Scorpio, but it's also how you express yourself emotionally. And a moon in Scorpio is protective, very protective of their energy and their space and their own emotional self. And so sometimes, because you're also so sensitive, you can cut yourself off from other people because you know that they could be a drain. That double water with the Cancer ascendant and the moon in Scorpio gives you a lot of that intuitive faculty. It is natural for you to just tune in. But that if you're with somebody else and you merge your energy, that it could be toxic for you. So, I think it's like kind of free will choice for
Right.
you, to decide whether you want to, be in a relationship or not. But I think that you not being in a relationship for the last period of time was a choice
That's
that you
forever,
made.
guys.
It was like a choice you made based on the
Right,
negative experiences that you had.
right.
But your sun also falls in your seventh house. So whether you like it or not, you are learning to become, you know, for you, learning freedom, sun
Mhm.
in Aquarius within the context of relationships, the seventh place or seventh house of relationships, that is part of your dharma, your path, your way. You have to learn how to do it without losing yourself, and it's fully possible, especially as we get older.
See, and I like that, Jay, and I hope everybody's understand exactly what you're saying, because I'm asking because me and you have already talked about this you know, back in January. But people don't realize astrology can just show so many details of you. So many details of those questions of why. Why am I this way? Why is this happening? Why is my personality this way? Yes, you have a lot of life that comes into that. You know what I mean? Like you said, the free will, but so many of your planets can show it also.
Yeah, and it could show like,
Mm,
but it's funny because astrologers can't tell if the chart of a serial killer.
mm,
We can say like, oh, they have this tendency, towards this or that. A famous example, and I think I brought this up before, is like Charlie Chaplin and Adolf Hitler. Very very close astrologically, and you know you can't really tell because our immortal soul embodies this, but there are indications of say like within the context of like Hitler and Charlie Chaplin of charisma, the ability to influence large body, groups of people, things like that.
oh wow.
But I want to comment on Pamela's
Yeah,
comment
I
about her
like the comment.
daughter. And I bet your daughter on February 22nd may be uh a Pisces. So like a 0 degrees Pisces. And I think that, if you're I think if your kids are lashing out against you right now, the number one best thing to do as a parent, is to not take it personally, is to try and take that high road, and to maybe even listen and commiserate and say like, I hear you, I feel you. What can I do to help? Sometimes it's just listening, because there's been a lot of crazy energy.
I love that.
That's my take on it, and especially if she is that 0 degrees Pisces, because she's kind of born right on the cusp there.
Yeah, I like that. I like how
Um,
Deidre is saying, double Scorp rising safe here. I relate to that moon in Scorp. I like that.
yeah. Oh gosh, I just love you guys. I love all you like you scorpionic creatures, but you are so
Creepers.
creepers, creepers. No, there's that too, but it's like there's so much protection. You don't realize that like you are blocking what you really truly need, because Scorpios, you know, dharma, I guess, that is a word for like path,
Yeah,
where you're going. It is about connection and intimacy. You are the best at it, and you are the best at knowing that like you can. It also like accepting the dark and the light, the shadow and the invisible things. Like in Scorpio, in the natural world, the time of Scorpio in the northern hemisphere is the time of underground, right? The trees lose their leaves, but they go underground. So
mhm.
sometimes Scorpios, they take all that energy and they go underground, but you guys are blocking sometimes the connection that is so much a part of what you're here to do. Intimacy, be getting in deep. So don't forget that you can trust yourself, to go there.
How do they then, how can they learn to trust? How can they learn to not block? Is that just
Um,
that experience, like like me, like knocking my head on the wall?
Okay, so I know a woman who personally who has a problem with another woman, and so let's just say we've got like a Scorpio rising and a Sag rising. Okay, the Sag rising person might say things that are very cavalier, that
Mhm.
actually hurt the sensitive Scorpio rising persons.
Right.
Okay, like you know I don't, like say maybe it's like about politics or vaccines or something like really polarizing, right? And that's the Scorpio rising's basic, reaction to it is to completely pull away. This person I can't be friends with this person anymore. Da da
Mhm.
da da. It's not safe for me. When really the Sag rising person just like, I don't even know what I said. Like I'm passionate about what I believe in.
Right.
It's not like, you know what I mean? Like you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Mhm.
So you have to understand that you're strong enough to handle differences of opinion. You can trust your intuition, okay? But not your fear.
Right.
Don't just like close everybody off because of your sensitivity. Develop strength. Like Bruce Lee said, don't pray for an easy life, pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. I
Right.
think the moon in Scorpio, and also like gather trusted allies, friends, tools, your cards, your
Right.
other reader friends, so that you can get a trusted second opinion. But don't just say like I'm not gonna love and connect with other people because I am so sensitive. And pull your energy back up into your body. A lot of you like water signs, the cancers and the Scorpios and such, um, and the Pisces, you are all over the place psychically, and unless you have training, you're connecting too much with other people, and you need to pull that auric body, that energy back up into your body, so you're not like picking up on too many things that you probably are not any of your business, but also can hurt you, and
Mhm.
you don't really know why. Like you can feel someone's energy, maybe someone who's pulling away a little bit, but you can't necessarily know exactly what they're going to do with it. And so that's kind of a hard thing, right? It's like a little bit of like psychic power, but without the training behind it or something.
Done, Marie. Holy shit, yes. I love that. I love that. This is a really off the wall question because you've said water sign, water sign, water. You know what I mean? You're talking a lot about the water. This has always been like, maybe it's an idiot question, but the Aquarius is the water barrier, but they're an air sign. How the hell does that work?
Isn't that interesting? No, we're suggesting that it really isn't water that
Okay.
is being moved because remember the it's not a wave, it's
Yeah.
which is energy.
Okay.
Energy. It's energy as opposed to
Water.
water. Like, universal life force energy or wireless technology. It is an energy, it's a wave of energy. And I think originally it was supposed to really be a wave of energy.
Okay.
And it got changed.
Well, that makes sense then because I've always sat there and go, well, I'm a water sign because it's a water bearer. You know what I mean? There's like your air. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So thank you for that. But it also makes sense to me because in my realm of the world, you need what, spirit will go to water, spirit will go to electricity for conductivity. You know what I mean? So within yourself, you need to drink a lot of water to be able to do the connection, blah, blah, blah. But if you have a haunting, you're going to have a lot of electricity. You have to look to where the electricity is because that's where spirit's going to go,
Yeah.
to help, excuse me, help bring them. So I think that's really interesting.
I think that remembering too that like, okay, so the haunting is always a good example. I use that a lot sometimes in readings as an analogy, especially when we're talking about past lives or like things that haunt our psyche that have force. But yeah, I mean, you need, typically hauntings also are around water, right? There's
Mhm.
water is a conductive force for this. Obviously, you know, seems that souls that are disembodied can pick up on they can actually use the energy in our own physical bodies as well as energy that is in a battery or what have you as a force as an energetic force for themselves.
Right.
um Earth grounds, so all of the 12 signs of the zodiac relate to the four elements. They're related. They have
Mhm.
modes of expression, which we call cardinal, which is initiatory, fixed, which is stable, and mutable, which is flowing. And then they have an element: earth, water, fire, and air. And oftentimes water sign people are very, very intuitive. They get impressions, like the impression that you would like a reflection on water. And the air signs, depending on their connections too, can also be like they could be like more like clairaudient, or they get like downloads and visions. Earth signs very grounded. Earth is about form and matter and structure. um and fire signs are about inspiration. They are energetic, they have a lot of inspired energy. They can get like these, like, again, like instant downloads or insights. So all the signs have their connection to the psychic realm.
So what is your take on how they've been saying more recently, like what is it? They took Uranus out of there, whatever, and or that you're no longer the sign that you were because they've decided things have switched or things weren't there. Do you know what I'm saying? You know
Okay,
what I
yeah,
mean?
so that is not all right. So there's two different kinds of equators. This is getting like super mathy.
It
All right.
is, I know.
So,
But
so there's two simple ideas of what the equator is. There's a celestial equator, and then there's the equator on the earth. Okay.
okay.
Tropical or Western astrology is geocentered. So it takes the Earth's equator, right? And we're looking up from the Earth, and we see the constellations in a specific place. All right.
Right.
And the idea that like NASA said, like, oh, you're no longer an Aquarius, you're a Capricorn, or blah blah, is taking a different type of equator in measurement. Okay.
Oh.
So it doesn't really, and in sidereal or Vedic astrology, they also use the celestial equator. There's something called the precession of the equinoxes, which is, it's the
I
Earth
don't
wobble, it's the orbits, it's like very mathy and spacey. But in tropical or Western astrology, nothing has really changed. And yes, it's true that in ancient Babylonia, at the 0 degrees Aries ingress, things looked a little bit different in the sky. They did, but we still have this as a marker. It's still geocentric. It still works, and and I'm not saying Vedic astrology doesn't work, but it is for me as a Westerner, and I've looked into both. I'm not very highly versed in Vedic astrology, but I have a few books and I've had a reading and I've looked at my charts and a few charts of others and stuff. And I think there's a lot of techniques there, but I feel like Western astrology really works. I've been observing it my entire life, and I've been doing readings my entire life, and
it works for me. It does. I mean, when they switched it all up and I looked at it, I'm like, none of that is me. None of that is me. I threw it out with water. I
yeah.
want to address Lori's birthday being the day of the solar eclipse.
Yeah, so I have 5 friends. I have 5 Facebook friends who also had that birthday. Um, it's a big deal. Okay. So also you were born in 62, so you're turning 60. So you've just finished your Saturn return. You're still kind of potentially in it. So this year is going to be very big for you. Okay. And because it is a North Node eclipse, there's the North and the South representing, say, maybe Karma and Dharma. The North Node is on your Sun exactly. This is a year when you can make very big strides in either almost like answering some big questions that you may have already had about your life, or doing something different, or becoming more of who you are. You might want to think about making, I mean, you don't have to do anything, but I think that with eclipses, things happen for you. You really can just step back and just sort of observe. But typically, when you have an eclipse on your Sun, it's your birthday, you've got almost like a fresh start. One of my friends had this as her birthday. Are you okay, DeEtte?
Yeah, dry my throat.
Drink
That's
water.
okay. No, I'm drinking tea and it's just not working.
She recently found out that she has this. This is kind of an interesting thing. She really recently found out that she has a hereditary condition that accounted for some health issues that she had throughout most of her life, and that she didn't really understand. It's a connective tissue disease, and it has something to do with like the way the muscles grow. And she always felt like there was something wrong with her, but she didn't really know what it was. And she recently was diagnosed, and she realized her late mother had it, and they didn't know. And it was just like this revelation for her. There's some treatments. She's going to get them. It isn't hurting her like vitality, but it's a game changer for her self-esteem.
Right.
If that makes sense.
It does.
So also, being that heavy duty, first decan kind of Taurus, first beginning of Taurus, change isn't easy for Taurians. They prefer security and stability. They go with the flow more. And it is important for all of us, that we don't become stagnant. And so sometimes the universe like comes in and just like, okay, guess what? Things are changing.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. You know what? And I know Lori, she's a friend of mine, and I couldn't agree more with you, especially from the energetic standpoint. You know what I mean? But because she is a Taurus, I hear the stubbornness going, oh, shush. You know what I mean? That part of her. So
Well,
it's
sometimes
true.
we don't think, like, listen, if we don't get flexibility of motion is essential. It is essential within our bodies that we are flexible. It is essential within our psyches that we're flexible in our lives.
Hmm.
It's like
She
the earth
says,
abhors a vacuum, it's like it's going to fill up. It's like they want change. Life is about cycles, change, growth.
mhm.
What is true is we have this immortal spirit.
I love that. She says so true. I love that. So what do what do you see coming forth for like the next few months for us? Are we going into a calmness? Are we going into, you know, more inner? Is it that look on your face makes me feel like the world is going, oh my God, no, you're screwed.
Calmness. Well, we are in the eclipse window, right?
Mhm.
So May 15th, May 15th, it is the 16th actually at 12:14 a.m. So it's really the 15th. So it's 12:14 a.m. Eastern. So
Right.
like the night of the 15th is that big old full moon. and that lunar eclipse, and it is a total lunar eclipse. So there is something that is growing right now in our lives that you may see a physical result from. As I mentioned earlier, like Venus has moved to Aries, and soon we will have Jupiter in Aries. And that is like whenever Jupiter is like a 1-year orbit. Whenever Jupiter moves, things move in our collective, right? So there's definitely more energy in this month. We do have that lunar eclipse, which will be an event. We'll see. It could be a finalization, a culmination, or something popping along the lines of what's changing. But with Jupiter in Aries this month, and then we also have a Mercury retrograde on the 10th, we'll have some stop starts. I like Jupiter in Aries. I think that it'll actually make things happen. I'm really hoping that in May we'll see some like resolution with the war in Ukraine. Astrologically, there is a picture that's being painted that could resolve something. But for you guys, like it's time maybe to move forward. Jupiter in Pisces was about like revelations and this deep spiritual work, and maybe even just a little bit of partying and having a good time. But now with Jupiter in Aries, it's time to get action. All right, what are we going to do? So we're going to see that in May. And there's a lot happening in May. It isn't necessarily bad. I mean, the lunar eclipse is a little tricky. Like all full moons are hard, but when you have a full moon in Scorpio, there's usually only one a year. It's pretty intense. Right. So you Scorpio moon folks, remember, or Scorpio rising or Scorpio sun or whatever, you're going to have a full moon. It's okay. Just like with this, it's like a lunar eclipse, like take the day off,
I don't know if you should be my best friend right now or my worst enemy right now. You don't even know the picture in my head because
honestly, you could. I wouldn't schedule a reading on those days if you can. Take it for yourself.
Right. Well, for myself personally, I drive to Lilydale on the 11th or on the 10th or the 11th.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And you're coming back.
I will be in Lilydale, New York, which is
I love it.
a huge vortex of energy.
Okay, so
and I drive back the morning of the 16th, and then I'm actually stopping halfway to have a trance reading from somebody else.
It's going to be very profound.
Yeah, I know, but I'm like, Michelle, I don't know if you should be my best friend right now. I should come through and go, what is going on?
Just like reach out, so here's the thing too.
You know what I mean?
It's like the most. It's probably like
one of the moon rising,
especially when it comes to like talking to the dead. Because Scorpio has rulership over dead, and its house, the 8th house in astrology, is mediumship and the dead. So when I first read for you, and I'm like, oh yeah,
I understand why you were laughing.
It's in your chart.
Yeah, but, I mean, everybody's got to understand when she did my reading. I did a reading for her. She did a reading for me. But in her reading, I heard her giggling at me, and she's like, "Oh, I was when I was doing your chart. I was giggling, and now it's coming to fold, and I'm like, oh, what have I done to myself? Like this, you can't." And terminology, you can't make this shit up. You cannot make this up, guys. I mean, I just told you what's happening. She told you guys what is happening on specific days. And these are specific days energetically. I put myself in certain places. You can't make that up.
Well, I think it's like going to be, because it's like a super full moon, it's going to be intense.
Right.
And I think you should just like really pay attention. I mean, it couldn't, like you said, you could, honestly, in a weird way, like you couldn't get a better and more intense time to be going to Lilydale, So, just being, psychic self-protection, but also like being open to what's next. And, you're going to probably get some really interesting and very deep experiences.
I love that. And I think that, I just happen to be being in Lilydale for that. And please, world, don't flood Lilydale at that time. Because
full moon in Scorpio, lunar eclipse. It can't get witchier. It can't get more like,
And the funny thing is right now they're working on their water lines. So they're all putting in all brand new water lines and all that. And it's like, so it's very muddy because it's water season over there. It's muddy season, and they're working with their water. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? So it's like it's all coming together. You go, yeah, it's perfect timing. So
Yeah, Neptune and Mars and Pisces, there's going to be some water issues there too, I bet.
I
So
love it. Deidre says, I feel like you can do that when she scheduled the training. So love that. So
yeah.
how can people find you, my dear? Because you know what, it's just weird because I try to jam in so much with you in an hour. You know what I mean? And I know everybody's like, oh my God, where's she going? Because there's so much. It's like I could talk to you every single day. It's almost like I feel like you and me could have a radio show together. Like every week we talk about stuff, or you know what I mean?
We were just blabbing you guys
It was
for
endless.
almost 2 hours yesterday, and I was like,
Yeah,
"We need to stop."
we need to cut this off. You know what I
Nice.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah, so my website is persephoneprogram.com. Persephone, like the goddess Persephone of the underworld, she who loves the dark. And so you can reach me at persephoneprogram.com. You can send me an email or book a reading. My classes are on there right now. I'm on Instagram at MY Prentiss, Prentiss. So those are probably the best ways. I'm also on Facebook, Michelle Prentiss, Michelle Prentiss. So you can reach me any of those ways. Feel free to friend me. And I always do new and full moon reports, solar eclipse reports. That's what I'm working on right now. I have a book called Capricorn Rising, an Astrological Life, which you can get on Amazon. You can also click on it from my website. And it's kind of like an introduction. It's an astrology book, but within the context of like me telling stories about my life. And so you can learn about astrology. It's kind of worksheet oriented too.
Mhm.
So if you have your own chart, you can look along and sort of read along.
Amazing book.
So yeah.
I love it. And I think if you don't mind, because I have an area on my website that is like my suggestions. If you don't mind, I might have you put on there as a suggestion for astrology. Because
Sure, yeah, like some good books to read or places, resources. Yeah, I would love
because it's literally then you can click one link to Michelle and go. You know what I mean? So
to.
thank you so much, Michelle, as always, for
Thanks,
coming
you
on. I am
guys.
just so blessed to have you on and so much information. And you know what? One of these times, like you said, we're going to just have to talk about hauntings or past lives and just
Oh, yeah, because I wanted to tell you guys about some of the, like, amazing ghost stories that I have, like, personal experiences with incredible stuff, radios going on and off. I have a lot of that in my life too. But I want something to say, hey, all you fire signs, especially like you Sages and, Aries, get ready for something good, you know, because we have Jupiter moving to Aries right now too. And so, in Sag, things will be settling down. So right now, like the Tauruses and the Scorpios are getting like the whomper of the eclipse. I've got my own North Node in Taurus Scorpio too. So, just be present, get aware, downloads, uploads. It's gonna be amazing. So it'll be a little bit of a roller coaster of a month, especially around the lunar eclipse. But then I think that things will settle down at the end of the month. Well, we do have a Mercury retrograde for 3 weeks in Gemini, beginning on the 10th. So if you have stuff to sign or you're moving, if you can get stuff signed before then, that's a good idea. That's
love
it.
it. No, I love that. 'Cause I just realized I did cut you off on that. So I love that. I love that. I'm just glad so many people are just like, thank you. You know what I mean? Just thanks have been all the way throughout all of the comments. Like, thank you, thank you, thank you, which I'm just so excited, you know. So again, thank you. And I cannot wait to bring you back on again, and next time we'll talk about hauntings or past lives. And
Yeah, let's talk about ghosts, past lives, and oh my god, I cannot wait. I have the Lilydale book. Lilydale, the I can't remember the name. It's like Lilydale, something about the town that
that
haunted.
nobody dies in.
It's a great book. It's
Yeah.
all about the history of Lilydale.
Yeah, they have a book. I think they also have, and don't quote me on this, they have a book and they have a documentary, but it's like the town that nobody dies.
Yeah,
Because they
yeah,
don't believe in death.
super good. Super good book, you guys. Okay, I cannot wait to hear about Lilydale.
Oh, I'm telling you.
I'm going to England. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
look at some castles, and we'll talk when we.
We'll talk. We'll definitely talk. And it's so funny because my memory of being in Scotland and England came up on my Facebook yesterday. So I shared it up and I went, I have a feeling I'll be back soon. So
Yeah.
Real
Hopefully I'll
fast.
have some good stories. I'm hoping to have some connections when
I
I'm there.
can't wait. You're gonna have to get a hold of me and tell me all about it. So thank you
Okay,
so
bye
much.
guys.
Thank you, Michelle. Everybody else, I'll be back in a few minutes with your weekly reading. This is DeEtte Renee here on School Through Spirit, WLTKDB.com.
A certified spiritual life coach, animal communicator, past life regression, and a psychic medium. This is Charlie Lynn. Charlie Lynn and Chat with Charlie work with you to bring communication and understanding from spirit to those looking to gain insight. Charlie Lynn's spiritual journey has brought her to you, so take advantage and contact Charlie Lynn today. Book a reading, indulge in some Reiki work, or take the next step in your life with some spiritual life coaching. No matter, Charlie Lynn is here to help you. Search Chat with Charlie on Facebook. That's Chat with Charlie on Facebook.
I'm so sorry, guys. My producers probably go, "What the hell are you doing?" Because literally I said goodbye to her and I clicked right out of the show and off I went to Never Never Land. So I disappeared. I think Todd was going to get excited. He was going to use his technical issues sign again if I didn't come back in. So, guys, I am so glad you enjoyed this show. This is so much fun today. I think I've clicked out of all the Oh no, the comments are there. Awesome, awesome. For those that didn't get a notification today, I apologize. We are doing things a little bit different. Please, where it does post. I have to share it into my Facebook groups now, versus the other way. So you guys might not be getting your notifications like you were. Please go today to WLTK. Let me see, what is it? I gotta double check. It's WLTK.com's WLTK Facebook site. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you, Todd, for putting up there. Whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, but go to WLTKDB. Please click on live notifications for them. Yes, you will get notifications of everybody's shows that are popping out, but you will definitely get the notification of mine. And that way you'll kind of know. I will continue to share every week. Unfortunately, I don't think it'll show as a notification off my page, because I'm not live on my page. I'm sharing the show onto my page. Okay, so sorry for that, guys. But it's how it's working now. So, and I'm so glad everybody came in and seen everything. And Dorothy, I just want to tell you, I missed you on Saturday. You don't even know. I was at Dare to Beware, Dorothy, and I kept looking over at the spot, and you weren't there, and I was so sad. So sad. So hopefully I get to see you again soon. But let's do our weekly reading. I am using Lisa Williams' Intuitive Soul Oracle cards for the reading. Here you go. Remember, these are cards that are impossible to get anymore. And if you do get them, jump on those cards and run with it. I'm going to tell you too. You know what? You can go on Amazon. You can get them in the French version. Get them in the French version if you can, because grant you may not be able to understand the writing, the words, but the pictures are not going to change. The pictures are not going to change. And I will tell you what, Oracle cards really are about pictures. Okay, really about pictures, which is awesome, which is really awesome. So, and the clarification card, Spirit told me to write the mystical, not write, but to use the mystical wisdom card deck. Okay, gorgeous deck. And this is written by Kay Guthrie and art by Josephine Wall. So we're going to use that as a clarification. Okay, but as always, we're doing 5 cards today, guys. Pick 1 through 5, whichever one is the card you want to pick from. You pick 1, 2, all 5, whatever you'd like, whatever you feel like you need for this week. Okay. So, Okay. And I think it's funny, guys. You know what? I don't even know why, because I always, for the show, I always use my magic cup with, there's no magic without risk. Today I had to use the Harry Potter cup. The Harry Potter cup with all 4 of the houses on there, because anybody that knows me knows I'm a huge Harry Potter buff. I just love Harry Potter. I should have been born in a castle, I'm telling you. But I think it's funny how this office is kind of representative of the 4 air signs. So, which I loved. So anyway, card number 1, equal. Finding balance and acceptance. We are all one, equal. Finding balance. I think that's what this card's about, is finding balance. Okay. And balance in everything in your life. Because I think right now, especially with, the energies and everything that Michelle was just talking about, but finding balance within yourself, knowing, knowing your body, knowing, how you are feeling, what are you feeling within yourself? Okay. And finding that balance, finding where you're sitting at. If you are feeling a little off, sometimes you have to kind of sit back. Sometimes you have to take a day off. Sometimes you have to go, ooh, what's that feeling? Ooh, what's this going on? But find that balance within yourself. You can't always go, go, go. You can't always just say stop. And that's basically what it is. So number 1 is really about finding balance, guys. So this is your time to do that. If you picked number 2, oh my God, it's the angel card, protector and angelic realms. And number 2, I love this. Know that you're protected. Know that you're not alone in this. Know that you have ones on the other side that are with you. Okay. Now, this is specifically angels. Okay. This is not just, this is divine. This is divine. This is not guides. These are not just your loved ones. These are angels. And I think right now you need to realize that whatever is going on in your life, you do have a lot of divine intervention going on. A lot of things are happening for a reason, but everything there is there for you. Okay. And it's strange because I don't think that card's ever come up in a weekly reading for you guys before. So I think that's pretty awesome. Oh, wow. Look at this though, because it's followed by the guides card. Oh my God. I can't make this up, can I? So spirit guide, helping, guiding through life, signs of spirit. I love it. I love it. So number 3, we're looking at your guides. You are not walking alone. Most people must be right now. You know what? People are reading these cards. I'm almost wondering if you're feeling like you're by yourself in this, like you're feeling alone. They're letting me know here, you know what? Putting those 2 cards together, that you're not by yourself. There are, things on the other side. There are people on the other side. There are loved ones. There are guides, angels, all of it. They are walking with you. They're helping you navigate this life. All you have to do is reach out and ask for that assistance. Okay. It's not that you're going to see this 3D body pop up next to you and go boom, 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 but they might send somebody 3D. They might send somebody to say, hey, whatever it might be. If you're needing assistance, if you're needing help with direction, if you're needing help financially, reach out, ask your guides for that assistance, or ask them for direction. They're there for you. Okay, number 4 is cleansing, refreshing rainbows and freedom. It's the rain card. I love this because if you picked number 4, this is a sense for you to go, oh, relief. Oh, I feel renewed. Oh, I'm just able to let this stuff go. Oh, this is amazing. This is your time. This is energetic. This rain sometimes is just as beautiful as grounding. Okay. Because I love grounding. But I will tell you what, I never miss a chance when it rains to go out there, stand in the rain and go, thank you for cleansing this away. Thank you for the refresh. Thank you for the renewal. Thank you for this gift of energy. And that's really what this is about. This is you are cleansing off the old. You're coming into a new. Embrace this. Allow it to happen. Okay. And number 5 is the work card. So it's focus, passion, diligence, success, teamwork, and finance. I love this card, guys. I love this card because I love it because of how it shows. It's just, so many people look at work as something that's a struggle, something you have to do, something that man made and said, here you go. You know what I mean? But when you look at this card and you're seeing the outreached hands with the flower and the bees coming in, bees are happy to do their job. Bees want to serve that queen. Bees want to do what they're doing. Okay. There is a joy, there's a happiness, there's a dance within them. And it's amazing to watch them do this. I mean, come on. Their days are in the flowers. They're pollinating. They're doing so much. Realize that when you are doing your work, you are affecting more than just one thing. You are affecting so much. Think about what the bees do. They fly in to get pollen to take back to make honey with. But in their journey, they're dropping a little bit of that everywhere. Everywhere. They're affecting life. They're affecting everything. Flowers can't reproduce. All this stuff doesn't happen unless the bees do their job. Okay? And then think of the sweetness they make in the end with that. Okay? So look at work and really facing that as a positive thing, that you are affecting more than just yourself. And I don't care if you're a quick trip worker. I mean, there's a reason they say, welcome back, come back and see us again. Can we help you? How's your day? Because those smiles affect the world. You're not just handing them change. That is with everything. Everything you do, look at it with a smile. Look at how many ways you are affecting the world. Okay. And it's time for you to start looking at your work in a different way. Does that make sense to everybody? So number one was equal card, finding balance within yourself. Number two is the angel. You are looking that you have got angel, you got divinity around you, you got divine help coming in to help you. Number three was the guides. Guys, you're not alone in this. You got your best friends there to help you. It's time for you to ask for help, ask to reach out. And if you pick 2 and 3, I think you don't have a bigger sign there than to say, hey, I need to help and reach out with this. Number 4 is that cleansing. It's that rain. It's, a feeling of refreshing. And number 5 is the work card, which is really finding how that you are affecting the world around you. And Lori, who picked 2, 3, and 5, baby, it's time to go back to work and enjoy doing what you're doing because you're truly affecting the world. You alone are touching somebody's lives. You're meant for the work. So that is that with those cards, but let's bring up the clarification card of the mystical wisdom cards. I love these cards because I love the artwork. The artwork is just gorgeous. It's gorgeous. So let's pick up what the clarification card is. Gosh, I feel like I'm getting yelled at here in my head. I don't even know why. I just feel like I am. I feel like I'm getting scolded so badly in my head. So, because I feel like that's a twofold. I think that's for myself too. So our clarification card is providing healing for your body, mind, and spirit. It's Archangel Raphael. Look how gorgeous that is. Look how gorgeous. Provider of healing for mind, body, and soul. Okay. I think this week, guys, a lot of people are going through a lot of healing. I think that this is what the clarification is. Look to yourself, look at where your healing is, look at what is coming up in your lives, whether it be memories, maybe it's circumstances, maybe it's just things that are happening right now. But look at how all of it's coming in to help heal you, how it's surrounding you, how it's affecting your body, your mind, your soul, your spirit, all of it. What's it doing for you? So this weekly reading, although, I mean, when you looked at all of it, it really is bringing that into fold, into balance, asking for help, knowing you're not alone, knowing that, you know what, we are here to help not just ourselves in our own growth, but we're here to help others. Okay. And Raphael is there to help you and to help clarify that. So hopefully that makes sense. Oh, thank you, Miss Lori. Spot on as usual. I love that. I'll never say I'm 100% at all, but I do try really hard. Oh, thank you, Miss Dorothy. I love that too. Thank you so much. I love you so much, my friend. You don't even know. I just miss your face. I never get to see it anymore. Everybody got to understand. Me and Dorothy used to see each other all the time, and I never get to see her anymore. And it just sucks. So life happens, but it is what it is. So let's talk about things I have not talked about. One, yes, everybody, you have to kind of go to me now. Me. I'm going to see if I can do it. So if I click on, okay, straight up, guys. If you're going to my Facebook site, the DeEtte Renee, Psychic Medium, please do me a favor. Click on where I've posted the video that's playing right now. You're going to see 3 little dots. Click on those little dots and say turn on notifications, okay? And that's going to help you to see when I come on. So it's going to help you so you can know that I'm coming on, hopefully even with me sharing something that makes a big difference. Or you can just go to the site itself, WLTKDB. Again, on the site, it says There you go. The same 3 dots. Hit turn on notifications. Granted, it's for the station, but hey, we got a lot of amazing shows on that station coming up and going on. And I will tell you what, it's huge because we're going to talk about all those shows right now. Okay. I'm going to look at, oh my God, it's huge. Oh my God, it's huge, guys. Like I'm going through this, so many shows, so many. You don't want to miss these things. You really don't. So let's talk about it now. I could, but I don't want you people to miss. You know what I mean? So many amazing people, and I don't want people to miss. So, those are 2 ways to get the notifications that I'm on. That I'm on. Okay, going through all my lovely pictures here. Oh my God, I got so many amazing. Good morning, Miss Sherry. Good morning. Let's go over here. I want to talk about all the shows that are on. And my phone, as always, I'm all over the place. And I'm like, God, just give me my picture. Because you guys know I can't do this without looking at my picture of all the wonderful shows. And I know it's there. I just don't know where it's at. Oh my God. Where is it at? Oh, that's Bruce. I'm into a whole nother year there, guys. A whole nother year. Um, oh my God. What happened in my life of my pictures? All over the place. Um, I can't believe that. Well, we do start with myself this morning, as always. DeEtte Renee here on School Through Spirit, WLTKDB.com. We do follow that up tonight. Hello, Stephanie. Love that. Thank you for joining me. Tonight, we have got 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's Christina Bloom, Be the Change. Tuesday is awesome. It's a busy night because at 7 p.m. we start with New Bridge Radio. That's with Kevin Mackey. On to 10 p.m. we have Paranormal Pete. That is with Pete Orbea. Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Central. No, sorry, it's 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, not 1 p.m. 3 p.m. Central Standard Time is Kelly Brickle, and that is the Psychic Hour, which is amazing. Amazing. You'll love her. She brings on so many amazing guests. Oh my God. Going on to that evening, we got Over the Target, and that's with Missy Hart and Nicole Ford, which are also super amazing ladies. Very interesting show. I'll tell you what, ins and outs gets pretty deep there. On to Thursdays, 9 a.m. I believe she starts this week. Oh my God, you don't want to miss Chat with Charlie. You've known her, you've seen her. She is the lady that comes in my stead when I'm not here, Charlie. I brought her on as a guest. I brought her on to host my show for me. She is starting her own show, guys. Please give her some love and support. She starts 9 a.m. and that is Chat with Charlie, and that's on Thursday mornings. On to Thursday evenings is 7 p.m. is The Realm of Darkness with Rennie and Ashley. It's all true crime, real crime show going on. 8 p.m. is the Afterlife Chronicles with Nicole Strickland. She's like an amazing author. Gosh, you'll love her if you ever just go watch her show. I'm telling you. And then Friday evenings, we have Secrets Within with Rennie Rodriguez. Also another just truly amazing show. Oh my God, guys, so much going on. So much going on. I'll tell you what. So many amazing things. Don't miss. And I'll tell you what, I'm gonna surprise you guys. I'm gonna start having some different guest hosts on too. Because clearly Chat with Charlie. Charlie's got her own show going on right now. She may not want to just be in my stead all the time. So I'm going to just surprise you guys with extra people that are just going to show up and you're like, oh my God, who's this? Now, next week's show, we have got Mr. Daniel Kloss. I'm hoping I'm Klaes. Kloss. Kloss. He is an author, a production manager, paranormal investigator. He is awesome. He is the owner of the Hinsdale House Restoration Project. Which is also the owner of Hinsdale House. He's going to have to tell you all about that house. It's just huge. He's the executive in charge production of Deathwalker. He is the cast member of the Ghost Finders. He is the co-founder and CEO of the Greater WNY West New York Paranormal Society. He's just truly all over the place. This man is a rock star in the paranormal. You don't want to miss this. Just a great man. And if you want to see him a little bit beforehand, please go to the Ghost Finders through Paraflix, and you can see him a little bit about him beforehand. His demeanor. He's just He's just a rock star. He also owns his own, he does an event also in New York, which Buffalo, which I've been to. Rock star event. Awesome, awesome. I can only hope to be invited back again. So you don't want to miss next week. Okay. You do not want to miss next week because again, it's going to be an amazing week with Dan. So what else is going on? I don't even know what else is going on. Let me see. Um, I don't, he's like, Todd is like, oh, it's class. Thank you, class. I knew I was pronouncing it wrong. Daniel Class. And it is going to be an amazing show, guys. If you are paranormal in the least, if you interested, this is not going to be, I'm just so honored that he said yes. So please, please come on. Please listen. Please partake in it. So much is going to be going on. So much is going to be happening. Okay. For me, I'm taking a break this next weekend. I'm doing nothing. What actually I am because it's Mother's Day. You know what? I'm a mom. I'm also celebrating my son's 32nd birthday. Yes. Yes, he's making me feel old. But with that being said, guys, you guys have a fantastic week. It's going to be amazing. I will see you next week here on School Through Spirit with WLTKDB. Don't forget to get those notifications and please don't forget to share. Thank you guys. Have a great day.